Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Music Alerts, in which I show you what physical product I've received in the post this week. I'll get to the vinyl in a moment, but first let's begin with CD. And let's start in a snoozy mood, shall we, with Yova and Dream Catchers, which arrives in a gatefold digipack sleeve with an extremely glossy 10-page lyric and photo booklet. So glossy, in fact, it's actually hard to turn the pages. It's completely frictionless. The music, well, there's a touch of that irritating modern pop production going on, but not too much, which is a blessing, let me tell you. On the whole, I like it. I'm a little reminded of the Sundays, a little bit of the Cardigans, perhaps, a tiny bit of Bjork, that 80s indie vibe thing. It's worth a listen. Next, from the Dr. Bird label, we have two reggae releases, each one being a double, a sort of duo thing. First up is this one from Lloyd Chalmers, and there are two albums on this, plus some bonus tracks. Firstly, we have Reggae is Tight, plus Reggae Charm, two albums from 1970. What we are talking about here is Lloyd Chalmers Toral, former member of the Charmers and the Uniques, who appears on these instrumental albums as a keyboard player but also producer. You also, as I say, get a host of bonus tracks too from the Boss Reggae man. And when I say Boss Reggae, I mean high energy version of the basic form. Great work on the keys from the man himself, a very groovy, upbeat rhythm. Next, also look out for Dennis Brown with a 9-track album, The Exit. And again, we have two albums on this one CD, so we have Al Campbell's Hold Your Corner, both of which debut on CD. You also get 4 bonus tracks here, so 23 tracks in all. Now, Campbell used to work as a mixing engineer with King Tubby. After that, he migrated to Trojan, and that's where these tracks are collected from. Dennis Brown, on the other hand, well, he was no slouch too, of course, and he had a lovely voice, and he appears here with his 1986 dancehall release. Great value for money, this one. On to Lisbon's Rafael Toral and Spectral Evolution now, presented in a gatefold digipack sleeve. I'll post a Bandcamp link below and any other links that are important. What you have here is a blend of jazz and experimental electronics and drones, sometimes played, so I believe, with homemade instruments. There's a guitar here, there's an ocarina of all things, trumpet, and lots of feedback. You can just imagine. Well, you can do more than that. You can go and grab the CD and find out for yourself. Do you remember the Cutting Crew back in the 80s? Well, I do. This is the London-based pop rock outfit. They had a couple of big singles, I Just Died in Your Arms, probably being the most well-known. Also, I've Been in Love Before, which I remember very well. Big hits back in 1986. Anyway, what we have here is a 3-disc box set covering the band's Virgin output from 1986 to 1992, and it's being reissued here on the Cherry Pop label. This box set includes both of those singles I've just mentioned. Actually, it also includes 3 albums, each disc being available in rather nice card sleeves. So, specifically, you get in this box the album Broadcast, The Scattering, and Compos Mentis. A year after Compos Mentis, the band unfortunately split. This box set includes B-sides, demos, remixes, unreleased tracks, and live cuts. 52 tracks in all, plus an informative booklet. Fans should grab this one ASAP. First up in the vinyl section, we go all jazz with the 5-piece Dusha Connection, and outside, a jazzy tribute to Eric S. That's Mr. Satie to you. The interpretations, and you can read more about those and their background on the rear of the sleeve, incidentally, well, they work well. They flow, they have pace, they hit a steady groove, they roll along with confidence and a natural rhythm. Excellent stuff. Next up is the London Afrobeat Collective, a London-based collection of musicians from all over the world, and a new release called Asengo. I think it's Asengo, a 6-track LP. The idea, according to the band's website, is to, and I quote, increase positive energy. So that's nice then. What you get here is funk and jazz, and there's some dub and Latin vibes. And yes, this one had my head nodding as I wrote these words. So good job, the spell checker was switched on then, hey. Next we have Mr. C.Diab. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. I've done this before and it didn't feel right. It still doesn't feel right. C.Diab. He's a Canadian chap, resident on the West Coast, I think. This is an 8-tracker called Imero on Tonal Union Records. Odes to both heat and desire, says the man. So, does this album sound like heat and desire? Well, if you own the right brain, absolutely. What you have here is what C.Diab calls post-classical grunge. Always looking for a headline, aren't they? There's lots of experimental stuff here via bowed guitars, messing around with tape to create effects, and well, yes, there's some experimental dabbling here, but also some rather beautiful stuff as well. The excuse of fiction is rather a favourite of mine. Next is saxophonist Nye Banfield from Leicestershire in the UK. Well, he tends to work in London, I believe. This particular album is called Trails and Traces on what looks like a private label, although it was cut at Abbey Road. Another 6-tracker, this one with a bonus track via a download option, so check that one out. So here you're looking at jazz. You've heard of street photography? Well, this is kind of street jazz. It's a sort of sonic diary. Banfield looks around him, London and his home back in the Shire. He puts what he sees to music, basically. It's relaxed, it's spacious, it's head-nodding, it's a bit Charlie Brown in its thoughtful presentation. And, well, this music is not in your face. It kind of waits for you to come to it, and I like it a lot. And finally, from Eddie Pillar and Dean Rudland, we have acid jazz, not jazz, we've got a funky beat, and it's a compilation that takes the vibes from the original 90s acid jazz scene. So you've got the likes of the Apostles and Super Strut, Main Ignition's Testify, which includes a breakbeat flavour, and in a similar vein, Dread Flimstone's breakbeat trip-hop flavoured From the Ghetto. It's a great mix of tracks, this. And that's your lot. The vinyl section was very jazzy this particular week. Hey, but you know, you get what you get. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed all that. Down below, if you can click on the like and subscribe buttons, that'll help this channel to grow, which is always a good thing, I think. In addition to that, we have a little bit further down links to my website, my Facebook group, and my Patreon page, where you can see the exclusive Hi-Fi News Etc. video. The new one appears this particular week. Check it out right now. Anyway, I'll be back on Friday, next Friday, with another one of these, and I hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.